Mr. Gabriel Noronha is a former special advisor for Iran at the U.S. State Department under Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Executive Director of Polaris National Security, is joining us live from Washington, D.C. Mr. Noronha, welcome to the program. The White House has released some messaging saying that President Donald Trump has been very clear all along. Trump has been clear that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. The president is now essentially ignoring the director of his national intelligence, who says Iran was not close to weaponizing its enrichment program. The U.S. president insists right now that the United States is in a defensive posture in terms of assisting Israel. What do you read from what Trump is trying to say here?
Look, President Trump is making clear that all of Iran's nuclear program will be destroyed. That includes Fordow, that includes everything in Isfahan, that includes everything in Natanz. And what that requires are difficult things that even I can't discuss on a program like this sometimes. But that is something that is going to be very difficult politically to do. And he is arranging everything so that there is full and complete political support within the Republican Party for that action. And since he leads that party, he is making clear that this is the decision that he's going to go with, and he needs full and total support, both from here, but the entire U.S. government. And so if Tulsi Gabbard is saying something differently, she needs to get in line. If others in the cabinet have their objections, that's the time when they need to shelve those objections and go fully with the president. And so that's the message President Trump is sending. Look, Israel has been incredibly effective so far in these negotiations, in these military operations. But the hard work remains ahead, especially as Fordow, which is buried under a half-mile of mountain, has not yet been struck at all. But I think in the coming few days, we'll see some rather extraordinary things happen.
Mr. Noronha, the Iranian government says parliament is drafting legislation to withdraw from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, or the NPT. Why has Iran threatened to pull out of this treaty?
So that is the treaty which guides whether they give the International Atomic Energy Agency access to their nuclear sites, but it also pledges that they won't develop a nuclear weapon. And so this is all part of their prelude to building an eventual nuclear weapon. What they're saying is, now that we've been struck, we don't have any restrictions on ourselves, and we're prepared to go all the way to a nuclear weapon. Now, that's exactly why these strikes are so necessary in the first place. The fact that they're prepared to go and get a nuclear weapon says that the international community, whether that's led by Israel, the United States, or others, should take every action militarily to prevent them from being able to do that. It's also an extremely aggressive effort, which basically indicates that they're prepared, if necessary, to nuke their adversary, Israel. Again, you don't build a nuclear weapon unless if you're the Islamic Republic, unless you're interested in giving it to your terror proxies to actually be used.
Mr. Noronha, the Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov says Russia is ready to act as a mediator between Iran and Israel, both of whom it has relations with. Reports indicate Israel is reluctant. Your view?
You know, Russia played an interesting intermediary role in Syria in 2014 when they pledged to get rid of Bashar al-Assad's chemical weapons program. At the same time, Russia has not been a good faith actor in the negotiations previously. They often bragged that they were secretly supporting the Iranian regime's efforts to withhold concessions, that they were secretly undermining the United States and Israel's positions. And so I don't think that they are a good faith negotiator here, because they're very clearly on the Iranian regime's side. But if that's what's necessary to get them to the table, so be it. However, neither Israel nor the United States has any interest in really negotiating until all the strikes are over. Again, Iran has absolutely zero leverage today. They have lost all air control of their airspace. They've lost numbers of their top generals. They are losing their nuclear facilities every single day. And so if you're Israel, the United States, it's simply a matter of just continuing the campaign before you're going to get into any new negotiations.
Mr. Noronha, finally and very quickly, what happens if the United States involves itself in this war?
Look, if we are going to get involved militarily, it's for two reasons. One is if Iran attacks any U.S. personnel, whether those are in Iraq or in any of our other U.S. military bases in the region. The other would be if there's something that Israel cannot do that is necessary to actually eliminate Iran's nuclear program. If that's the case, I think the United States can and will step in and do the final thing. Iran might try to intervene militarily, but at this point, they have very few capabilities to actually do much harm at all.
Mr. Noronha, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you for talking to us today.